When we talk about frequency, we often talk about things that we do during a certain amount of time, or maybe the quantity of times that we do something, or of course how often we do it. So quite often, frequently, you will do something. So maybe in your day-to-day life there will be something that you do generally, maybe something you have to do, maybe something you have no choice in doing. You do it often. You might do it frequently. You will do it from time to time. So when we talk about frequency, we will often ask, how frequent? How frequent? So maybe a general question that you will ask someone, you will ask, how frequently do you go to the supermarket? How frequently do you go out for a meal? So when we talk about frequency, we are talking about how often or how frequently you do something. So generally speaking, frequency refers to how often something occurs. The occurrence is the actual happening. When something happens, it occurs. Frequency refers to how many times it happens, or how often you do something. How often something occurs will often refer to frequency. How often you do it. How regular a thing is done or happens. So when we talk about frequency, maybe over a certain period of time, or maybe generally, we will talk about frequency. How often do you have to do something? How regular a thing is done. Another word or another way of expressing frequency is how often you do it, or maybe how often you don't do it. So if you do something frequently, you do it regularly. Regular means often. You regularly go to the supermarket. You do it in a regular way. You do it often. And then we have irregular. So the opposite of regular is irregular, which is not often. I don't often go to the supermarket. I don't often go out to eat because it's too expensive. That's the reason why. You might do something sometimes. You do it sometimes. So that means you don't do it all the time. Maybe you don't do that particular thing every day, but you do it sometimes. You do it now and again. And then, of course, we have the opposite. You can do something many times. Maybe a thing that you do or a thing that you have to do many times. You have no choice. You must do that thing. So we often use frequency to show how often we do something, or maybe how often we don't do something. And in a moment we will look at various words, various ways of expressing things we do a lot and things we don't do a lot. There are, of course, certain things in your life that you do quite a lot or quite often. There are. I can think of at least two things straight away. Two things that we do often. We do maybe on a daily basis. To do something on a daily basis means you do it every day. I go to sleep every night. So every day, or at the end of every day, I will go to sleep. Sometimes Sometimes I go to sleep more than once a day. But enough about that. That is too much information right there. So you might do something sometimes, or you do it many times. You do it often. When we talk about frequency, we can say that there is a scale of frequency. So when we talk about things that you do sometimes or even never, and then we can go right up the scale to things that you do quite often or even all the time, always. So there is a scale. When we talk about scales, we talk about things that are in a particular order. So we go from things you do sometimes or never right up to things that you do all the time, or things that you do maybe every day or even every hour. Some people have to take medicine. So maybe if you are taking a certain type of medicine, you might have to do that every hour, or maybe 2 or 3 times every day. You have to do it regularly. So we are talking about the frequency, the number of times that you have to do something. And there are many ways of looking at it. You might say that you never do something. Never means it does not happen. Something you do not do. You never do it. And then, of course, we have the opposite, which is always. You always do something. You never stop doing it. Maybe you are a person who likes doing a certain thing. Maybe you like listening to music. Maybe you always have music playing nearby when you are doing something at home. And maybe, if you are like me, I don't always have music playing in the house. In fact, quite often, I never have music playing. Sometimes it can be quite distracting, especially when I'm working here at my computer.